You might be up 7 in the first quarter. You might be down 21 at the end of the second. There'll be some days where you're like, man, nothing is going right for me. You still have to go through life because life doesn't stop. The game isn't going to stop. The game will stop for an injury, but it proceeds.
It's the groove now, it's showtime.
Everybody, welcome to the Don't Blame the Leads podcast, the #2 podcast in all of insurance that is allegedly guaranteed to make you a better and more beautiful person. Today, we have the Honorable NFL's most underrated former prospect, Jaiden Woodbey. Please give him a round of applause. Everything is everything, man. Listen, I'm really excited to have you. I'm really excited to have you on here. I'm glad that you agreed to this. So for those people who don't know you, if there's anything that you want to kind of say about yourself, then I'm going to ask you some super simple questions, regarding your career in the NFL and also insurance and stuff like that. So the floor is yours.
Yeah, so first and foremost, my name is Jaiden Woodbey. I'm from Southern California. I currently am a professional athlete. I played in the NFL in 2023. Now I'm up in Canada playing in the CFL. I've been doing that recently. And then I'm also a life and health insurance agent. Oh, there's
Nice.
that. And then my birthday is tomorrow. Or I don't know if I should put that in there.
No, I mean, so the day we're filming this, y'all, we're filming it on Martin Luther King Day. So whenever this comes out, it's this far in the past. So if you see him, tell him happy belated birthday.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Let me get into these questions real quick. So, all right. I read that before you signed with the Blue Bombers, you were literally DMing and emailing every GM and coach in the CFL and NFL just trying to get a look. So for the insurance agents listening who are scared to pick up the phone, can you tell us what it feels like to cold call just for your own career?
Man, I'd rather have the satisfaction of knowing I did everything I could to advance my life than being scared of what if they say no. You know what I mean? Because it's like the more you get used to the no's, the easier it gets and the more confidence you build. And I can relate that to insurance sales too. Like cold calling people. Because like when I'm on the phone, like I don't tell them like, oh, I'm an NFL player, I'm this, I'm that. I'm like, I'm just calling them, letting them know. And sometimes I'll get cussed out. Sometimes I'll make a sale. But the more you practice, the better you'll get at it. Because it's such an extreme. I can go from 5 people hanging up in my face, one of them cussing me out, to another client who just who's been needing help, who's been wanting help, and they didn't know where to look. They didn't know who to find, and they're glad they're on the phone with me. So it goes back to me reaching out to like all these GMs, all these coaches. Like all I need is just one, and sometimes that's all you need in the insurance business too. All you need is one client to instill that belief that you can actually make sales and that you can actually do it.
I think that was very well said, bro. And I've never heard you say that. And that's that's an incredible work ethic. It takes a lot to call people to say, hey, just give me a shot. Give me a shot. So that kind of makes sense why you're successful, man. It really does.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
All right. So you went from being a 5-star recruit at FSU to playing in the IFL, the Indoor Football League, to get back to the to get back to the pros. Now, most people would have quit just out of their ego. How do you keep your ego in check when you have to take a step backward to move forward?
I think that a lot of stuff that I've been through in life, from my injuries to coaching changes to position changes to all of those things, and still having to be successful and still keeping that mindset of, okay, I said I was going to accomplish this goal.
Mm-hmm.
This emotion has left, but the goal is still there. So I still need to get to it. I think that tying that into like my ego, your ego, to me, like everybody has an ego. Everybody's proud of their ego, but you have to humble yourself at times too. And the biggest thing that I've learned is like one, nobody's bigger than the program. And
Mm.
two, the tables can always turn. Like the tables can always turn. And I was always a grateful kid, and I was always very appreciative of the positions and things that I was in. But when I went from, 5-star athlete, right? Freshman All American, like my career going this way, and then getting season ending injury, and 80-90% of the time it's a career ending injury, and then having to overcome that, and then, playing again, coaching change, environmental change, me not meshing well with the coaches and everything, having to go through that, and then going to another school and having a good season in terms of my stats and everything, and then coming back for my senior year, hoping that we become better, and then we end up not having a great year. It kind of messes up my draft stock and everything, and then, like the whole pro day and everything like that, and then everything just like tumbling back down.
Yeah.
And then having to go all the way down to playing semi-pro football,
Mm.
which is the indoor football,
Mm.
and knowing where I feel like I should be is humbling. But at the end of the day, like I always reminded myself, like I wanted to play football, and that's what my passion is, right? No matter the level, no matter the conditions, what, like you wanted to play football, that was your passion, and you have an opportunity to play it
At a
You're
high
not
level
bigger
too.
than, yeah, and it's like you're not bigger than the moment. Like you're not bigger than this program. You're not bigger than the situation that you're putting yourself in. And I think that reminding myself of that, like, man, you wanted to play football. That was your goal. Like, of course, you want to, play at the highest level because that's where you were at.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes you have different routes to success. Like, this might be a long, scenic road as compared to the short, fast road to you getting to where you want to go. So I think that really helped me. Like, just always being where my feet were and, like, reminding myself, like, I'm doing what I love to do,
Straight up.
So, yeah.
That's gonna help somebody listening. I mean it for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, you're in Winnipeg now. Different game, wider field, different rules. How is adjusting to the CFL similar to an agent moving from selling final expense to something like IULs and annuities? And like, how fast do you have to learn a new playbook?
Okay. I love this question because, like, if you really think about it, right? Like the CFL, NFL, yes, there's different dimensions, but
Mm-hmm.
nonetheless, it's still football, right? So then when we go to insurance, yes, final expense, mortgage protection, IULs, traditional whole life. These are all different. Like they're all, football. They're all
Mm-hmm.
insurance plans, but it's different types of football. And there's different rules with each one. Like with final expense, like that the older you are, the more expensive it will be.
Yep.
It's less underwriting. With the IUL, depending on how you structure it, it can be tailored specifically towards a person.
Mm-hmm.
Term policies, they'll be a little bit different compared to a final expense and an IUL. Yeah, like
But it's all
traditional whole
insurance.
life. Yeah, it's all insurance. It's all insurance at the end of the day. But the one thing that I can say with insurance is understanding the basics, right? There's basics with everything, right? There's basics in CFL and NFL that you can connect, and there's basics with all different types of insurance that you can sell.
Mm-hmm.
And they all have a similar underline, which is a death benefit and a premium that you have to pay. Right.
Straight
And
up.
then you can go from there with like, okay, what are the benefits? Do we have living benefits? All right, with the IUL, I know it's a little bit more specific. Like, do they have participation rates? Do they have like what's their floor? What's their ceiling? What is their multiplier? Like, what stocks do they use? And then you got to think, okay, all right, what carriers work with this type of client? What carriers work with this type of client? But it all goes back to like studying your playbook, right? And for us, it's like, okay, studying the product, studying all of these things. And another thing that's gonna be helpful too is like, is how bad do you want it, right? How bad do you want it?
Spitting right now. Yep.
Because you could be an agent that sells all three, right? You could be an agent that sells, whole life, term, and final expense. Or you could be an agent that just like really specializes in one or the other. But it's all determined on how bad you want it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. That's fire. That's fire.
Appreciate it.
All right. So we're going to talk about faith and discipline now.
All right.
So you recently became a Muslim, and a huge part of Islam is the discipline of the 5 daily prayers. How has that strict spiritual schedule helped you structure your business day? Do you find that discipline bleeds over into your sales?
Yes. And the reason that I say that is because, you know, me, I'm a spiritual person. I believe in God, right? So if God is my main priority, if you keep him your main priority in everything that you do, then, good things will happen, right?
Mhm.
And something that we say in Islam, like if you leave something for the sake of Allah, like Allah will give you something 10 times greater, right? So it even comes in terms of sales, right? Like I know that I have to be disciplined, right? I have to do these 5 daily prayers, and I know that there's discipline in scheduling and the calls and the messaging that I have to go out and reach out to clients, social media posts, responding to DMs, things like that. So just tying that discipline in of, sometimes you don't want to do certain things, but you know that it's necessary in order for you to be successful. So it ties in with the sales. Like sometimes I don't want to be on my phone 24/7 responding to all of these different DMs or, making these posts and trying to figure out, okay, what's the right way to say this? What's the right way to say that? How do I edit this video? How do I do that? But at the end of the day, I know what the end goal is, right? The end game is to make sure that I'm successful and, make money. Like that's the point of that, and to help people. And if I'm not disciplined, I'm not going to be able to do all of those things. And then in terms of the prayers is a relationship like with God, right? When we do those 5 daily prayers, those are like 5 meetings with your creator every day. It's like nothing is more important than the conversation with you and your creator. So you making time for that and setting discipline in your schedule to do those things. It seeps into all of these other things too. Like, all right, man, I can take 5 minutes out of my day, 5 times a day to talk to my creator. Okay, I can take an hour out of my day to make sure that all of these things are right. And then you get that gratitude and you get that really good feeling after you've done what you did. So
Feel accomplished.
yeah, you feel very accomplished, very accomplished.
I like that.
Yeah.
So in this industry, we talk a lot about like remembering your why. Has finding your faith changed why you want to succeed? Is it less about money now and more about something else?
You know, even though I'm a pro athlete and everything, like I do that because I love the sport, right? Not necessarily because I had like a job that I wanted to do growing up. When somebody asks me, okay, like what do you want to be, in the future and stuff, it's like I just want to be a great family man, and I want to have enough money to do whatever my family wants. So I know that football can be a vehicle for that. I know life insurance can be a vehicle for that. I know health insurance can be a vehicle for that. So that drive of me wanting to be able to do whatever I can for my family whenever is more important. Now, money is a byproduct of that, right? In order for me to do all of these things, I do have to make a lot of money in order for these things to happen. So that's really like motivation. And as I've gotten more to, my belief, I think that it's made that part a lot clearer, because like people can make money all different type of ways, right? But there's dignity behind it, and there's thoughts of, okay, how did I make that money, right? Some people, they don't care about it, but majority of the people in the world, they do, right? So it's like,
Facts.
yeah, making sure that I'm making money the right way, and I'm doing it with the intention of, okay, I want to be able to help people with this. Like I'm not a type of person that's just gonna get a whole bunch of money and like just keep it to myself. I want to give back. I want to give in abundance. So like that's really the goal behind it all.
Uh, Very well stated. So let's talk about fasting. So
Yeah.
if you can train during Ramadan without water or food during the day, surely you can handle a client hanging up on you. Do you feel like your faith is giving you like a thicker skin or like a higher pain tolerance than the average person?
Yes, And I say that because when people perform Ramadan, right? People think it's just about not eating and not drinking all throughout the day, right? Not drinking water, not eating food all throughout the day. But it's like you have to go throughout your day like it's a normal day. You're just not eating, you're not drinking. And it puts emphasis and it puts more of a magnifier on the things that we take for granted. Like you could take for granted just being able to do this throughout the day. Like you take that for granted. And now being conscious, like, okay, I can't do that, right? I can't do this, I can't do that. And sometimes it'll weigh on you, but then you just have to think about the discipline. Like you're constantly practicing the discipline. And that might be harder to do than dealing with the fact that somebody hung up in your face, right? Because it's like, okay, I got other things I need to worry about. Like I'm trying to help you. And if you don't want my help, okay, that's fine. You know? So just, yes, it just sharpens everything. It sharpens everything. Yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's
Yeah.
up. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So take us back to FSU as a freshman. You were the man in high school, but what was the specific moment in college? Maybe it was a hit in practice or whatever, where you realize, all right, my talent's not enough. I gotta get it. I gotta work hard.
Whew, man, I've always felt like I've worked hard. I've always felt like
Harder. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
harder.
okay, yeah, okay. I want to say probably okay. I've always thought I was strong, right? I've always thought I was strong.
Okay.
Now, I would think that all the time, like, okay, my strength is what's gonna get me through. We were playing Wake Forest. I remember this was my freshman year. We were playing Wake Forest, and in high school, I would hit linemen. They would go back. I'm 18 years old. I'm an 18-year-old freshman out there playing against a 24-year-old that's 6'6", 320 pounds. Like he's not going anywhere. You know what I mean? So I'm like, all right, I gotta figure out, okay, how am I gonna be able to still, win this rep, right? If I'm blitzing off the edge, how am I gonna be able to win this rep? I was like, all right, maybe I gotta get there before he does. No, he's still big enough, right? So then one of my coaches was telling me, like, all right, when a lineman is coming towards you, like you have to engage with them before they get their step on the ground because they're gonna be off balance. I'm like, all right, I'll try it. And I tried it a couple of times and I was knocking it back and I was like, okay, this makes sense. But it was one of those moments where I was like, all right, I really have to figure this out, right? Like I can't just use my strength to get off of his block or something like that. Yeah.
That's a real good way to put it. It's like you went from being the biggest, strongest guy to not the littlest guy, but you're definitely not the biggest and strongest guy. So now you can't brute strength your way through it. You gotta have some strategy. That's Okay. All right. So you were known for being a savage in the film room. In insurance, our game film is like recording our sales calls. Do you listen when you record yours? Do you listen to your sales calls? And how do you critique yourself now compared to how you critiqued yourself on the field?
Yeah, so when I would practice like my pitch that I would have to clients, yes, I would listen to my recordings, but on top of that, I would make a Zoom. I would record a Zoom and I would like go through a presentation and I would go through like a cold call script. And then like I would come up with like different like objections and stuff that the client might have while I'm on the phone with them. And like I would do that for like an hour or two a day sometimes. Right. So that when I hop on the phone, it's like I already am confident. I already have the confidence. I'll do something with the confidence without even knowing how to do it because confidence sells. But I was like, let me actually like get this whole schedule down, this whole script down with little nuances just in case something else pops up or they say something else and I can add this in. So it's similar to watching film, right? Because one of my coaches always told me that your brain doesn't know the difference between a mental rep and a physical rep.
That's
It's
true.
all the same to your brain, right? So the more film you watch, the more reps you're getting, right? There have been times where I'm watching tape, I'm watching the same play over and over again, and I'm like, okay, why did this person do this? Why is he doing that? Why is he doing that? Like I have to figure this out, right? I'll go ask my coach this question, like, hey, coach, right? That'll be similar to me calling you up or Diana up. I'm like, hey,
Straight
so
up.
when a client says this, or when I'm looking through the policy and it says this, like, what does this mean? Like, I've been looking it over. I still don't know what this means. And then you're like, oh, this is this. And I'm like, oh, wow, that makes sense. That's similar
Yeah.
to me. That's similar to me going to a coach and be like, hey, coach, like, why is the safety, like, why is he lined up +2 outside the hash? And like, he's making this play all the time, but like, why is he doing it? It's like, okay, look at the split of the number 2 receiver across the field. Like, look at the down and distance. He's gonna run this route. He runs this route 9 times out of 10, right? And I'm like, oh, that makes sense. So now I'm watching the tape and I'm like, okay, I know why he's doing that. So similar to, looking up a policy or like going through, scripts and stuff like that, or like anything. Do like going through your film, reading your notes, whatever, going back to your coaches, asking the question, and coming back. It just makes you better.
Yeah, the way you put the stuff, it's almost like it's almost math. It's almost mathematical. What you're doing is you're you're studying and you're looking at why people do things. You're predicting behavior based on past behavior. You're looking
Yeah.
at, maybe mathematical is the wrong word there, but I don't know. It's crazy to me how people will have a public perception of, your passion, football, and they'll look at a football player and they'll think, oh, this is a dumb jock. He's just strong or whatever. But even hearing you talk about it, there's a lot more strategy that goes into it. Sure, you might have a coach, but it's not to say that there's a level of intelligence and there's a level of strategy that you have to even have to notice what the coach is telling you. Because like for me, what you were saying earlier about, you having to get the guy before his foot touches the ground, for
Yeah.
me, a casual watcher is not gonna, like, how am I gonna know before his foot hits the ground? And as
Yeah.
fast as it probably hits the ground when you're running too, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I just think that's really interesting.
Yeah.
All right, so you played defensive back, the position with the shortest memory. If you get beat for a touchdown, you have to line up again instantly. How do you teach the next play mentality to an agent who just lost a deal?
Biggest thing that I could tell you is never get too high, never get too low, right? Because like in football, right? Football is a game of highs and lows. Every football game to me is like life, right? Like
Elaborate.
some people, they go into life prepared. Some players, some teams, they go into the game prepared. Some people they come into life with a disadvantage, right? A team, they might have thought that they were ready, but their starting running back, quarterback, defensive back, and defensive tackle are all hurt, right? They're not playing for the game. So, like they're coming in with the best that they got. And there's ups and downs of games, right? There's ups and downs, right? Like you might be up 7 in the first quarter, you might be down 21 at the end of the second, right? You might think the game is over because you up by 3 at the end of the game, and with 2 seconds left, it's a trick play, and they get in field goal range, kick a field goal, and now y'all going into overtime,
Hey.
right? And I relate that to life, right? Because it's like it's gonna be days that you're on your high horse, right? It's gonna be days that everything is clicking. Then it'll be some days where you're like, man, nothing is going right for me. Literally nothing. Like even my door won't open. Everything. And then you still have to go through life because life doesn't stop. The game isn't gonna stop. The game will stop for an injury, but it proceeds.
Yeah.
Right. So tying that football and life tying it into insurance and into sales and closing deals, right? Never get too high, never get too low, right? The conversation might start off great, right? You guys might be having great conversation, great talks, especially like an IUL client, right? It's like,
Yeah.
all right, they have everything, right? They got all of their information, like they want this policy, everything is good. We get to the end of the sale and they're like, "Oh man, you know what? I forgot to tell you. Yeah, I have, I
Those be
have like
getting me.
type 2. I have type 2 and I got arrested last year, but I forgot to tell you that." You're like, "Man, like why didn't you tell me these things from the jump?" And everybody does it. You do your calculation. You're like, "All right, you're gonna pay 600 a month. The target is this. Oh yeah, this gonna be good. This gonna be a good one. This gonna be a good one." And then at the end, it's like they don't have it. And then
Pyramid.
yeah. And then you all upset, but it's like you can't get too high, can't get too low. There was one case that I've had where everything was good, and we're already in the underwriting process. This happened with two different cases. I'm thinking I'm about to get like a big check. That's how I'm gonna put it this way. It's gonna be a very nice check, and the underwriting process is good, right? Underwriting process is good. Then 3 weeks in, one of them, I guess they had all of these health problems that they did not tell me about. And I messaged them. I was like, "Why didn't you tell me this? Like, I could have got you covered with something else. Like, we didn't have to go the IUL route. Like, there was other routes that we could have went." So I was disappointed in that. And then the following week, I get an email saying that my client can't be covered because they have a warrant. And I'm like, where did this come from? And it just be frustrating. It's frustrating. And like those are the highs and the lows, right? Highs, I thought I was gonna get paid. Super low, right? Like, all right, both of those didn't go through. But at the same time, when I say can't get too high, can't get too low, just think of it as lessons, right? Think of it as a training or something that got you better rather than it being something that was of no value. So yeah.
That's another good answer. All right. So in football, if you blow a coverage, 80,000 people scream at you. In insurance, if you blow a sale, your bank account just looks empty. Which pressure is actually harder for you to deal with?
That bank account. Oh man. Yeah. Yeah, we need that bank account to always have some good numbers in it.
Straight
So when that's not going the way you want it to, that definitely affects your mood sometimes.
Heck yeah. Them strangers, you might not see them again. You
Yeah, I
don't even
gotta
know
see
who
it.
they are, but that bank account, that's intimate.
Yeah, you looking at that every day. Oh man, more money coming out. More money coming out.
Right, because the
Yeah,
bills don't stop.
they don't.
That's wild.
And
All right, so look, you're in the fourth quarter. You're
yeah.
tired. The prospect is giving you all the objections. Do you have a finisher mindset that you switch into? How do you close when you're just tired and you don't feel like it?
I'm gonna be honest. Transparency goes a very long way.
Okay.
Like I will tell the client like, "Hey, look, I'm really trying to help you, right? Like I'm not doing this for myself. I'm doing this to help you, right? And we've already gone through all of the objections. I've told you everything, right? Now, if you don't want to go through with this, you're choosing not to help yourself. Like, and you're your own person. I don't want to pressure you into anything, but we've already gone through every single what if. I don't know about this. I don't know about that. Like the choice is yours, and I don't want to waste your time because I respect my time as well. And then they're
either gonna do it or they don't.
yeah.
All you can do is give them the best advice.
And if they hit me with the, what, I'll think about it. I'll be like, okay. Well, you have a great rest of your night.
Right.
Feel free to reach back out to me, and I've done everything I can.
Yeah.
Because also too, what that tells me is, especially if they're like doing the like all of those things at the end of the call, and they're still not, ready. in my head, I'm like, okay, do I want to bring that into my book of business? Because that might be a chargeback later.
That's a good way to look at it. That's a good way to
Yeah.
look at it. Sometimes I'm the same way. I don't know. Maybe I don't know if I told you that. Like when I deal with clients, sometimes I used to kick myself when people wouldn't buy, but I just look at it like, you know what? If that person had purchased or gotten coverage, I would be in a worse shape 2 months down the line when they canceled anyway. This person knows they don't have any coverage. They said they wanted coverage. And then when it came down to a price that's in their budget, they don't want to do it. You don't care about your family. I don't care neither.
Yeah.
If you ain't sure about protecting
Yeah.
them, then I ain't sure I want to be
I
your
ain't
agent.
sure either. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a bet. Couple random questions for you before we wrap up. If you had to build an elite sales team only using Batman villains, who is your top producer and why? So, for example,
Yeah.
the Joker is real chaotic, right?
Uh-huh.
So maybe Bane because he's real disciplined.
I like that.
So, what you got?
You said Batman characters?
Batman villains or Spider-Man. If you're not a DC guy, maybe you're.
Oh yeah, I'm a Marvel. I'm a Marvel guy.
Spider-Man villains.
Okay, Spider-Man villains.
Spider-Man villains.
Electro.
Okay.
I would use. Who else? They're not necessarily Spider-Man villains. They'll be Marvel villains. Can I use Marvel villains?
I can give you Spider-Man villains off the top of my head. He's my favorite superhero. You got
I know the Green Goblin.
Goblin.
You got Electro. You have I forgot the big buff guy's name that has
the Rhino.
Oh yeah.
Or are you talking about Tombstone?
No, I think the Rhino. Kingpin. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, Kingpin. Kingpin for sure. But yeah, no. If I had to create like an all-star team with Spider-Man rivals, I think I will only need 2 people.
We're talking sales too, mind you. You're building a sales team with them.
Oh yeah. I would just need 2.
Okay, who you got?
It would be Kingpin and Electro.
All right, why? I like it. Why?
Electro because, I mean, I think of technology. He's already like he can go on the wires, he can go in the systems. He might be able to run some ads on somebody's
for free.
For free. And then, Kingpin, he has the resources. He's a...
You gonna buy from the Kingpin, or you gonna buy from the Kingpin.
Exactly. That's spot on. That's spot on.
I like that.
Yeah.
I think for the same reason that you chose Electro, I would choose Doc Ock because he's a computer engineer. Electro is not as smart as Doc Ock, but he has powers, so he could get it done. Yeah. And Kingpin, you're gonna buy from him, bruh. If not, you might lose a limb or lose your life.
Yeah.
So I like that. Mm-hmm. All right, so last 2 questions. So you're in shape, but let's be real. If you close a massive deal and you're celebrating, what is the cheat meal order? What you order for your cheat meal? Be specific.
I have like 2 different ones. The first one, there's a spot out here. It's called Raising Cane's. Right? It's similar to like Zaxby's. It's similar to like
people know about Raising Cane's.
Right. Yeah, I would get a Caniac combo with extra toast, no coleslaw, extra sauce, and 2 extra tenders with a large Arnold Palmer Easy Ice.
You said that you get that. All right. What's the next?
I get that often. I get that very, very, very often. The next thing I would go to any Jamaican spot, and I would get a beef patty. I would get oxtail with rice and peas with the cabbage salad, and I would get I forgot what it's called. It's a Jamaican juice. It's called like Tropical Rhythm or something. Tropical Rhythm fruit punch.
I don't know. You ever you been to that spot, the Tendernism place yet? Yeah,
I went.
Was the oxtail as fire as they say it?
The oxtail was good. I'm not even gonna lie. The oxtail was very good.
Oh,
very, very good.
That's what they say. They say that oxtail is crazy.
Yeah, no, it was for sure.
That's what's up. You ever been to Jamaica?
When I was like 6.
So if you ever go back, last time, not the last time, the time before last that I was there, I was in Ocho Rios, I think. I went to Dun River Falls. Anyway, if you go in that area, and I'm sure there's other areas in there, but I just only know specifically this one. There is a restaurant where they have jerk chicken that they fire on a wood grill, like this big planks of wood. They fire the jerk chicken on. It gets super smoky, and like even though I don't eat meat anymore, like I will never forget how good that chicken. Like my mouth is watering just thinking about how good that jerk chicken was. I've never had I've had jerk chicken that's good in the States.
Yeah.
But
not like that.
That was something different. That was something different. So next time you go to Jamaica, find you some wood grilled like jerk chicken. It was
fire. Yeah.
It was crazy. Yeah. All right. So last question. So you're speaking to an agent who just bought 50 leads. They got hung up on 10 times and they think about quitting or doing something else. Look at the camera and tell them why they need to pick up the phone one more time.
One, you need to pick up the phone one more time because you only called 10 and you paid for 50. So you still have 40 opportunities. And then on top of that, you can still call them at other times, right? Like it's like you caught 10 people within a span of 10 minutes. What if they were all driving? What if they were all in a meeting? What if they all seen it and were like, you know what? If they call back later, I'll give them a call. You never know. Leave no stone unturned. If I buy leads, I'm calling every lead at least twice. At least twice. At least twice. And if I don't get any responses from then maybe, you can think about getting some more leads because the last thing you want to do is quit. Because if you quit, then you'll never get a sale.
Ever.
That's a 100% fact. You will never get a sale if you quit.
Never. You will never get a sale if you quit.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, all right. That was good advice, man. So look, anything that you want to plug, any shout outs that you want to give, the floor is yours. Any shout outs, plugs, if you wrote a book, if you want people to come to your next games when the season's back on, you got it. Whatever you want to say.
Shout out Julian, shout out Diana. Met them a couple of years back and I was new to the insurance game. They caught me in a position where I was about to go with another agency and they told me to ask the agency certain questions. And they said, watch, you ask this, they're going to say this. You ask this, they're going to say that. And in my head, I'm like, I don't think so. I'm going to ask them anyway. And they said the exact thing that they said. And I'm like, wow. Let me stay with them. Let me stay with them. Yeah.
I appreciate it. Well, where can people find you? Where can people, if they want to reach out, if they want to get some personal training from you, if they want some coverage from you, how can they find you?
Man, you can reach out to me on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. It's all the same. It's Jaiden Woodbey, Jaiden Woodbey. And that's pretty much it's the same on every social media platform. I try to be easy to find.
Perfect. Well, listen, man, I appreciate you joining. Anybody wants to reach out to Jaiden, he just told you where to reach him. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff or whatever platform that you're watching this on. And until next time, don't blame the leads.